Another season of Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball is pretty much upon us as we've just conducted Missouri Valley Conference Basketball Media Day, our NBC Hoops tip-off. Thanks to all the folks that were able to join us on YouTube and NBCSports.com. But with that in mind and our preseason poll and all conference teams being announced, we're back in the saddle with the NBC Shootaround and our NBC basketball analyst, Adam Emmenecker. Adam, how are things going, sir?
Happy 2014-2015 season, Derek. Things are going really well. I'm excited for Media Day to kick off today. Things to get going. It's just around the corner.
Yeah, no kidding. It's funny. I was making comments to some of the student athletes that the summer just flew by, and here we are. It's November, and it's time to play basketball. But as we mentioned, Media Day concluded. Preseason poll announced. Wichita State near unanimous selection at the top of the conference. No surprise. I mean, the Shockers are the Shockers. I mean, what more do you say now?
Right, and you know, it's funny you mentioned it, the near unanimous selection. We're talking about a team that undefeated last year. They have an absolute fantastic season, get to the NCAA tournament. They play, honestly, one of the best games of the NCAA tournament against eventual runner-up Kentucky. Who's the one person that votes against them? 45 out of 46 votes. I get that they lose Cleanthony early, but when you really look at that nucleus of the guys coming back, Fred VanVleet, Ron Baker, Takeo Cotton, obviously three guys, preseason first team, they really have a lot there. And especially, you know, you look at a guy like Darius Carter. He's not Cleanthony early, but he's a guy that can step in and maybe be that consistent fourth scorer that they're going to need to have the type of success this year that they're really looking to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we talk about after the Shockers now,
right.
One team that we're fully expecting that will really challenge them, Northern Iowa. Seth Tuttle named preseason all-conference last year, 15.4 points per game. This guy does pretty much the inside job for him. I mean,
right.
if the Panthers are going to compete this year, it's going to run through him for the most part, correct? Right?
Yeah, I think if you look at the class of the league, as far as that interior presence, Seth Tuttle really is that guy. You know, he can do it a little bit on the outside, and he's not that big physically necessarily. He's not imposing from a size presence either with weight or with height. But he just knows how to use his body so well. He's so crafty down there, and he's quick off his feet. Gets up and gets rebounds, is great in positioning. And because of that, he's really the cornerstone of that UNI team. But, you know, I think when people think about Ben Jacobson and the Panthers, even back when they had Greg McDermott a few years ago, they were a slow it down, in the 50s, grind it out type of team. That's not the way they are anymore. They have better athletes. They have guys that are going to get up and down the floor. We saw that with their points per game average last year, quite a bit up over years previous. They're going to run a little bit, but I think you're going to see them get a little bit back to that hard-nosed defensive intensity, and it's Seth Tuttle that's really going to lead that charge.
Yeah. Now, as we look down through the preseason poll, couple teams that we think it might be surprising. Southern Illinois, Barry Henson got his team playing on Saturday at Arch Madness. It's been a long time since Salukis made that far at the conference tournament. What do you think? Barry's turning that thing around now for the right way?
Yeah, and that's something, you know, if you ask the SIU faithful, they probably start getting a little bit impatient. Because they went from such greatness in the early 2000s and then fell off and had a couple hard years of hard times. But I think Barry Henson's starting to get his personality ingrained into that team. You look at a couple guys. Anthony Beane had a great close to the season last year. Ended up on one of the all-conference teams. That's a great thing for a team that wasn't projected or even in the mix for those first 4 or 5 seeds. And then a guy I really like, a hustle guy, Bola Olanio. Hard name to say, but he's a guy that does it all on the floor. And it's really funny, especially they got this new guy, Deng Lee from Sudan, a 7-footer, a guy that's really going to be an imposing presence defensively. People don't think necessarily of Barry Henson's teams, of defensive teams, but that's really what he coaches. He coaches those hard-nosed players that really know how to get things done. He's got some athletes there now, so I'll be interested to see how they progress as the year moves along.
Yeah, and we talked previously about our preseason all-conference team being announced. The 3 Shockers, VanVleet, Baker, and Cotton named on there. Seth Tuttle, we talked about. DJ Ballantyne as well from Evansville, 22 points per game last year, almost 23 points. Who are some of those other individuals in the league that you think might make an impact in the Valley this year?
You know, you look at those guys, and obviously it's hard to argue with any of them because of the great years they had last year and even the year previous for some of them. I think one guy I would have expected to be close to that list, Milton Doyle. Unfortunate preseason injury with the torn labrum. We'll see how he comes back. It sounds like they expect him to play this year. how do you play with an injury? How do you adapt your game? Sometimes, honestly, that can be a blessing in disguise because you got to find a little bit of a different way to contribute. Might help with his leadership skills and help him grow up a little bit faster. He had a great year last year. He was just a little young. Obviously, you can see he was a scorer. Are there other ways he's going to contribute to help his team win? A couple other guys. One guy I really liked last year was Reggie Lynch from Illinois State. He's big. He's got size. You know, at 6'10", he's got size and quickness, almost like a Jackie Carmichael. You can see him maybe moving into that NBA arenas in the next few years. But had a great middle and close to the season. We'll see if he can kind of continue to progress and be the cornerstone for Illinois State. And then another guy, a guy I really like just because of the hard-nosed play, the way he shoots the ball from deep, Austin Reuter. Over 2 threes a game last year as a freshman, setting three-point records at a school that's honestly has a pretty good basketball history. He's a guy that just has that embodiment of what Paul Lusk expects from a player on the court. I expect big things out of him to grow into his sophomore season as well.
All right, it'll be a big year indeed as well as we celebrate the 25th year of Arch Madness, the conference tournament in St. Louis. It's hard to believe it's been 25 years of that great tournament. A year-long celebration for us at the Missouri Valley Conference, and we're excited for another great season. Adam, we'll look forward to talking to you all season long and another great year of basketball, sir.
Sounds good. See you soon, Derek.
All right, this has been the NBC Hoop Shoot-Around, the first one for 2014-15, and we'll talk to you again soon, folks. Thanks so much for joining us.